Okay, so it's been about a month since me and my fiancée Laura have moved out of our apartment in Switzerland, got rid of almost all the stuff that we had, and bought a one-way ticket to Buenos Aires with the goal of making it as digital nomads. Were we 100% sure that it's the right decision and that we are ready? Definitely not. But here we are. I've decided that it might be worth sharing with you why we've decided to do it, what's the plan, and why sometimes you just have to go for it. So, just to give you a little bit of a background, 2 years ago I got a job offer to move to Switzerland. So I did that. I worked for a tech company for 2 years in the blockchain space, and it was really good 2 years. I've learned a lot, I improved a lot as a filmmaker, but the job wasn't fulfilling, and in September 2020 I've decided to quit, and we've decided to go to Asia for a few months with one goal. I really wanted to find out what is it that I want to be creating as a filmmaker. In Asia, I realized that for me it's the most rewarding if I can work with people and if I can create films about people that I either already know or people that I meet on the travels and connect on a certain level. So in Bali, I was able to create some of my best work to this day, but in May 2021, we had to come back to Switzerland because we ran out of money. And even though we are both working as freelancers here in Switzerland, it just wasn't the life that we wanted to live. You know, I was still working for a lot of tech companies, which is not very fulfilling. And Laura has been struggling with finding work because of the language barrier and because of the industry that is not very developed in Switzerland. We've always had this idea that we want to try to live as digital nomads, and we're slowly planning it, but things just weren't coming together. And the end of the year wasn't really good in terms of work because, you know, Omicron hit, so a lot of work got cancelled and so on. But then just before Christmas, we were like, what are we waiting for? Let's just go give it a try. Because we've always made it work somehow, and even if we will have to lower our standards, it will be a great experience for us. Suddenly, when we made the decision, things somehow started to, click. It almost felt like this fear that we had was blocking us in the decision, and once we kind of got over the fear, everything started working out. We found a tenant for our apartment within like 2 weeks. We got rid of all of our stuff, and I was able to actually close a client on a monthly retainer where I can work remotely and I only work 50% per month. So, as I said, this fear block that we had just disappeared. And so here we are in Buenos Aires. After a month, we can say that we don't plan to go back to Switzerland in near future because this life is just so much more fulfilling. And our goal is now to make it full-time as digital nomads. Now, for me, this wasn't the first case that I would jump into something that I wasn't 100% sure and that I didn't know if it's going to work out or not. But as I said, somehow I always made it work. Whether that was finding a job as a promoter, selling parties, there was always a way to make it work. And I feel that this is like the beauty of us humans, that we can figure out things on the go. And I guess the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Now, I thought that maybe for some of you that are in the similar point in life, I could give you a tip that really helped me how to get there. And that was, I tried to imagine how would my ideal life look like. And then I would map out the steps on how to get there. And I would try to remove out of my life everything that is not serving me. And I would also try to remove myself from current situations that I'm in that are not getting me closer to that goal. Basically saying no to things. Then it's important to remind yourself often of the life that you want to live and visualize it. And then, of course, being consistent with the steps that you mapped out. And then slowly, over time, you will see the results. Another great tool that I use is called a human design. And human design is basically sort of a personality type that tells you how to operate in life as yourself. It shows you how to make decisions, how to operate in work. And for me, it was extremely helpful. Maybe if you want, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can check it out. Again, you have to take it with a grain of salt, but for me, it really worked. And then, as I said in the beginning of the video, there will always be some obstacles on the way, and you will never be 100% sure. For us, it was financials because we didn't have any savings. For you, it might be something else. But it's important then to consider the risk that you're taking and also think about how much risk you're willing to take. For example, for me, I don't mind taking big risks, but you maybe are more risk averse. So you also need to decide depending on that. But even if you fail, you will always move forward because you will learn something new. However, it is important to mention that every person has a different life situation, and for that reason we all have different paths, and it is important to try to find your path and then follow it so you can see the success in your life. So I would recommend you to go within and to really think about what fulfills you, what brings you joy, and don't be afraid to try different things, because if you don't try things, you will never find out what it is that fulfills you. And then once you find it, then it's just about, using it as a North Star and following it. After all, we are all on a journey of life here, and the most important thing is that the journey that we take is enjoyable and then it makes us feel alive. And for some, it might be the life on the road. For some, it might be having a job, starting a family. And I would say that for most people, it changes throughout the life. I can definitely see that the older I get, the more I realize that life is so different for every person, and there's so many ways how you can live your life. And it really only depends on you, what matters to you and what fulfills you. There's no point in trying to copying others or trying to live like someone else if it's not what really brings you the fulfillment. Now, you could end the video here, but if you would also want to know what are the next steps and what are the plans, then just bear with me for a little bit longer. Now, when we made these steps, I'll have much more time to focus on projects that actually matter to me. I'll have much more time to collaborate with creators and with my friends. Because as I said, for me, filmmaking is all about connecting with people and then capturing their story. So on this YouTube channel, you can look for BTS videos of the films that I'm creating, some tutorials now and there, and then I'm gonna have a creator series where I'm gonna introduce you to my creative friends. Oh, and one last thing, we'll be trying to leverage blockchain technology in order to create more freely and with more purpose. So if one of these things sounds like might be interesting for you, then I would love to have you part of the community here. Now, just very quickly, few projects that I'm working on. Currently, I'm here in Buenos Aires. I'm working on a documentary about a rider who rides a fixed bicycles. I found a subject. I'm going to meet him on Sunday, so we'll see how that's going to come out. The next one, I'm working on the creator series for YouTube. I did already one video with my friend Svenja. So far, it's 80% done, but I'm really looking forward to share it here. And then the last but not least, I'm going to be creating a Discord community with my friend Barney, Beyond the Beat, maybe you know him. And there we basically want to create a nurture community of filmmakers and photographers around the world. So hopefully that's going to work out. We don't know, it's going to be a trial, but you know how they say in Indonesia, never try, never know. And that's it for today. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.